going to New York. Morgan in a rare appearance in a t-shirt.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott. Love the intro. Hi, MITA. Great to meet you. Thank you for taking the time today. Really appreciate it. Like Scott, I could talk to you all day about this. So many thoughts and questions. I'll tee it up with framing. I spent 15 plus years in a very toxic corporate culture. I was the outlier there. I tried to be a safe harbor for not just people in my group, but for peers, coworkers, people who didn't even really know me. I tried to have an open door. Of course, this is in a big office building, New York City. Everybody's in there. I'm also a huge fan of the modern workforce and remote work and distributed work, and what it does to level the playing field. You touched on it earlier, the statistic around 97% Black Americans not feeling safe going back to the office. I see that from my perspective as well. Have you found techniques and tools that work to create that environment of safety and trust that's so critical in a distributed workforce? How do you wrap your arms around the people in your the diverse people in your workforce when they are not physically present, when you can't sit down and have that vulnerable face-to-face conversation?
I think that's the biggest challenge we face right now for modern work. I mean, the loss of connection and community people are feeling. It's in this strange, like people are showing up to be on Zoom in the office, but people are at home feeling disconnected. One of the things, I manage a hybrid team. One of the things, you actually have to lean more towards the people who are not in the office, right? Because the tendency and the bias will be, if you saw me 5 times most recently, and Scott is sitting out of Utah working there, and then you're about to do performance reviews, it's just the affinity bias of having spent time with me. So if you're going to take me out to lunch, make sure you're going to send Scott an Uber gift card and make sure you're going to schedule that lunch, right? I think back to the hybrid piece is giving access to everyone's calendar. It worries me when we're like, people can go in whatever days they want, because I feel like the days that like you want to go in are the days to connect, right? So at CARTA, we go in Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so there's issues, of course, with real estate, right? Because you're like, you have the office empty 3 days a week, but what that allows is like, I'm going in for community and connection. And so making sure that you give access to each other for calendars and like the days that you're going in so that you're working together. And then the last piece, I was talking to a colleague who is of South Asian descent, and she went into one of our offices for the first time. And she said, I feel like, wow, I'm going in and there's just a lot of white men who know each other, who are talking to each other. And I feel myself shrinking, she said. So I go and find the most corner seat. And I'm like, wow. And so as I talked to the person who was leading our team, I was like, that's where we all have to be aware and observant. If you feel like someone is sitting really far away, or you can just go over and talk to them and bring them back into the fold. That's our job as leaders, right? Because we have all been in moments where we feel like we don't belong. And that's like the most horrible feeling. So help people feel like they're a part of the team. Go find that person and be like, hey, come sit with us, come have lunch with us. And that's how you can build bridges. I could say a lot more, but I know you have more questions.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much.